you're going to need more than that, guys. Come on, you started off so well with all the energy. But we're going to need more of that from you, right? Okay, so are you ready for your first act of this evening, guys? Okay, well, all you've got to do to get in is go wild and crazy on the count of 3. When I count to 3, you'll all go wild and crazy, but while the acts are on, please no talking amongst yourselves, please don't face the stage. And the third rule is if you find something funny, laugh. Yeah, okay, good. One person found that funny, that's good. Guys, do we think we can do that? Yeah! Good stuff. Okay, well on the count of 3, go wild and crazy. 3, 2, 1, go wild and crazy. And please welcome to the stage the wonderful Nick Hill!
Evening. Alright, this is, I'm not sure. I'm going to get home and wife's going to say, what was the gig like? And it was like, well, it was just wonderful, gigging in the middle of an Indian restaurant with the door open and a youth club. I mean, it's just absolute heaven. And your Christmas jumper is lovely. And obviously, these two didn't get the email, did they? And you, Joe, you knew about it because you mentioned earlier on I could have worn my Icelandic cardigan, didn't you? And you left it at home. I was here wicked. And your mate that left, oh bless him, I don't know if we ever saw, did you see the big guy who was here? Absolutely fantastic, massive, huge guy. He's just joined a gym and I watched him eat his pizza, just move the salad to the side and then stuffed his face
You're very right.
with the pizza.
Yeah, you can come back now.
And he hasn't even paid, has he? It's lovely to be here in Wedmore. What a place. And my wife said, you need to make an effort, you need to look smart for Wedmore. Looking round, absolutely no need at all, was it, to be honest? Because 2013, Somerset Live, Wedmore, one of the poshest villages in Somerset. The same year, Polly Costello, who I think was a local councillor, said, people think that everyone in Wedmore's really posh and snobbish, but we're not. We've got a real diverse culture. And looking round at this room full of white people, absolute bollocks. And the 2011 census said that Wedmore is higher than the rest of the UK with people born in this country. And I think, again, this just bears it out tonight. And in 2018, Stonebox Homes wanted to build just 35 houses in the village. Outrage. Comments such as ludicrous, not needed. And then I looked at it, and these homes were going to be affordable homes. And I think what you've all done as a group is just collected together and saying we are not having poor people live in our village. That's what's happened there. But it's a fantastic place. You've got Iron Age remains have been found in Wedmore, and in medieval times this was the centre for agriculture. And in the 17th century, a lunatic asylum, the first lunatic asylum in the UK was opened in Wedmore, right? £10.50 for sandwich in here, and if any of you were paying that £10.50, you should be in the lunatic asylum. I mean, culture. You've got an arts festival, that's brilliant. You've got music, you've got opera, you've got theatre. You have the Turnip Arts Prize every year. I mean, it's just brilliant. And you've had some brilliant people that have come from Wedmore. You've had 5 top-class cricketers. You've had Penelope Fitzgibbon, a Booker Prize-winning novelist and essayist. That's absolutely fantastic. You had Tessa Munt, MP for Wales.
Turnip Prize.
And then you have that person. We've all got our cross to bear, and I know it, right? And I'm not even going to mention his name, because I'm from Gloucester, so we have to live with Fred West. What I've done is, I was disappointed to miss the Turnip Arts Prize this year. And so what I've done, if you don't mind, I've brought along my entry for next year. I've drawn it all by hand, I'll just show you this.
Too much effort.
It's a lovely, I've done this by hand, like no expense spared, as you can see. A lovely lovely picture of Wedmore Church. And what I've done to represent your cultural diversity is I put the flag of St George on the top. I was going to put some roundabouts in white and with a red cross, but I thought no. And I was looking at this and thinking, do you know what, there's something missing. Something missing from this picture. So what I've done, on the one side of the church, I'll put a little police van, and then on the other side, I've just put a picture of Gary. So I thought I'd like, and you can have that, you can put that up. But this is nice, because not all gigs are as nice as this. I was in Swansea a little while back, and I was just backstage, and I'd not looked through to see what the audience was like, and I think the MC, to be honest, had overdosed a little bit on too much Live at the Apollo. Because he went out and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I want to go wild, I want you to stamp your feet, clap your hands, and welcome to the stage, Nick Hill!" And I came through the curtain and there were just 4 people sat there. Oh, Jesus. So there was a grandmother, a son, the mother, and the grandson was going in the army, so both the ladies were distraught. I thought, well, I can't really speak to them, so I moved on to the guy who was sat on his own on the second row. I was like, "What's your name, mate? What's your story?" He's like, "Well, my name's Roger Moore." I thought, "Oh, brilliant, fantastic, I can do some of that." I said, "So what's your story?" He said, "I've got mental health, I don't really know what I'm doing here." So, I've got to be honest, we just ended up having a counselling session for 25 minutes, that's all it was. And then the following night, I was doing a gig in a little village in the Cotswolds, and I went on stage, I thought it's lovely to be here in Ashton Keynes, because I'm from Gloucester. And this woman at the back put her hand up, she said, "I know you're from Gloucester, so we can make some exception. And I know it's spelled Keynes, K-E-Y-N-E-S. Keynes, sorry, K-E-Y-N-E-S. But here in the village, we prefer to pronounce it Keynes. Is that okay?" That's absolutely fine by me. Got to be honest, it does make you sound like a bit of a pretentious cunt. I said, "That is spelled C-A-N-T, but you can pronounce it," and I've not been asked back. I don't know why. I've just got to that age, you know, and looking around, and I feel like life's come a little bit full circle. It's come a little bit full circle now, because I'm 67 right now, and sort of looking at the state of the world, and you kids won't appreciate this, but back in the 60s we had the Cuban Missile Crisis, and now we're facing nuclear annihilation again. And the only comforting thing I can take from it is that I am not going to be conscripted. That's you lot, you're absolutely fucked. Absolutely. But, right, I've got a tip for you. Because when you get your call-up papers, and you will, right, we live in a politically correct world, so all you've got to do is just write back and say, "Thanks for the invite, unfortunately, I don't identify as a soldier, I'm going to leave you alone." You'll be absolutely fine. But we've gone through some shit times, haven't we? We've gone through Brexit, we've gone through COVID, we've got all the hassle that's going on in the world now, and I'm thinking, what is left for humanity to face? And I think the only thing we've got to, it's not even look forward to, it's like alien invasion. I think that's what's next. And I did a gig in Swindon last week, and looking at some of the audience members there, I'm pretty convinced those aliens are already amongst us. I've got to be honest with you. I've mentioned Brexit there, and I don't mind sharing with you, I did vote Remain in Brexit. Not through any sort of strong political leanings or anything like that. It's just absolutely no way I ever want to go back to washing my own car on a Sunday. Because that's what used to happen, wasn't it? We all used to wait for a Sunday and wash your car. Dad used to wait for Bob a Job Week. Again, kids, you won't remember that. Can some of us remember Bob a Job Week? But just so you know, like, it was basically small kids, 8 or 9, in uniform, shorts, long socks, going around, knocking on strangers' doors, offering their services in exchange for money. I mean, what could possibly have gone wrong, right? They'd have been safer appearing on Jim Will Fix It. That would have been absolutely fine. I've got to be honest, I'm not really looking forward to Christmas. Because Christmas has always been quite a time of stress for me, and I think it extends back to when I was a kid. Because I can remember it was January 1965, just gone back to school after the Christmas break, come home, Mum's in the kitchen, I said, "Mum, can I have a word?" She said, "What is it?" I said, well, all the other little boys in my class were talking about the presents they had Christmas Day. She went, and? I said, well, I didn't get any, did I? She went, no. And there's a very good reason for that. I said, was it because I was naughty before Christmas? She said, no. And she looked me straight in the eye. I was 5. She looked me straight in the eye and said, thing is, Santa don't stop for ginger kids. That's bloody harsh, isn't it? To be fair, I've had 3 ginger girls, saved me a fortune up until they were 12. It was absolutely brilliant. But we had some friends round a couple of nights ago, and they said the usual thing. So, are you ready for Christmas, Nick? I went, yeah, pretty much ready. And my wife's like, sorry, what did you say? I said, I'm ready for Christmas. She went, you're ready for Christmas, are you? I went, yeah, pretty much. She said, all right. You've done all the shopping, have you? No. You bought presents for everybody? No. Have you written any cards? No. Have you got the decorations down like I asked you to do? No. Have you put the tree up? No. She said, so when you say you're ready for Christmas, what exactly do you mean? And all I said was, I got you that book you wanted. That didn't go down particularly well. So my penance now, apparently, is I've been tasked with food shopping, and I'm dreading that. Well, I'm dreading going to food shopping. But what I've done to make that a little bit easier, I've devised a game, and you can all take this with you, and I call it Supermarket Chav Bingo, right? And it won't take long. Matt was talking about a spreadsheet, and all you've got to do is, and you can make your own things up, right? Is just create something like this and put in codes. So we've got things like TSB, SC, COB, OAP. So that's like tracksuit bottoms, slippers, Crocs, clearly on benefits. PID, SW, CND, parking in disabled space whilst clearly not disabled. MWR, IAD, men wandering around in a daze. And basically, as you spot these people, all you've got to do is just tick it off. Now, a word of advice. Absolutely no point doing this if you shop at Waitrose, because you won't see any of these. And if you shop at Asda, you'll fill this up in 20 seconds, basically. That's what happened with that. I've got to be honest, when I spent the time putting that together, I thought it would get a far better response than what it has done. But that's absolutely fine. So I retired a couple of years ago, back in 2023, and I wasn't sure what retirement was going to look like, right? And what, again, you've got a lot of years to go, but what I found and what I didn't realise is that once you retire, apparently it's obligatory to spend at least 4 days out of 7 at your local garden centre. Well, I didn't know that. We go to one where I live. We're there so often. We've got a loyalty card. We went there last August on my birthday, and I gave my loyalty card over. She said, oh, congratulations, birthday boy. That's good news, isn't it? I went, sorry? So what? That's good news. I said, no, not really. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, the average life expectancy for a male in the UK currently sits at 81. So at best, I've got 14 years left, so tell me what's good about it. She said, well, now, you qualify for one of our senior citizens discount cards. And I'm thinking, just fucking shoot me now. My life's over. And have I got to pay for it? She said, no, they're free. And I snatched it off her. And I said, what's the benefit of this? She said, well, you get 40% off a roast lunch. Oh, okay. And I'm walking back, and I'm looking at this card, and she was right, you do get 40% off a roast lunch. Served every Monday between the hours of 9:15 and 11:20 a.m. And I thought, who the fuck eats a roast lunch every Monday between 9:15 and 11:20? Well, since last August. One of the other joys about getting older is I got my bus pass earlier this year, so that's great. So whenever I want to have a chat with cool people, I just hop on the bus into Gloucester. And but you don't speak to anybody on the bus because everybody's on their phone, but they're not even on their phone quietly. Like it's all on speakerphone. So I was on the bus the other day and we heard all about George's coming colonoscopy. We heard all about Margaret's hysterectomy. and we heard all about Tyler's hatred for foreign people. Because he was on the phone to his mate Callum, he said, the thing is, Callum, what I think we need to do is get all the foreigners out of England and then see where we'll be. And I tapped him on the shoulder and said, Tyler, in case you haven't noticed, bus driver's foreign, so if you get rid of him, we're going to be stuck here, mate. That's exactly where we're going to be. Tyler didn't like that, he got up to leave. And it must have been sheer coincidence that at the time Tyler was walking down the bus, a cat must have crossed the road in front of the bus driver, because the bus driver suddenly slammed his brakes on and Tyler shot headfirst down the bus, and it was brilliant. And 50% of the bus applauded, and clearly the other 50% were Reform voters. It's always a bit dodgy doing that joke, isn't it? Especially probably in Wedmore. But I don't know, I mean, older people, you can tell me, do you get just more irritable as you get older? I find just all sorts of things wind me up more than anything now. Go into town and it's, no offence guys, but it's kids on e-scooters or old people on mobility scooters. People use the word hollybobs instead of holidays. But the people that really wind me up more than anything, I've got to be honest, are dog owners, okay? Now, not just all dog owners, right, because I will temper that. I am a dog owner myself, but I've got a proper dog, I've got an Irish Terrier, he's a pedigree dog. But what really winds me up is those dog owners that do not pick up after their dogs, right? And I've done a little survey, and I'm sorry to say that if there's anyone who's got one of these dogs in the room, it tends to be the Cava-Cockadoodle Poodles, owners of this world, or as we used to refer to them in the old days, mongrels. And I've just got to the stage where I just can't help myself anymore. If I see it happening, I'll call out, mate, your dog's shit, and you go, oh, sorry, no, sorry, I'll pick it up. No, really, your dog is shit. I love my dog. We try and take him everywhere. We've got dog owners in the room. Just by a show of hands. Oh, we've got quite a few. The UK is definitely getting better. It's definitely getting better in terms of where you can take the dog. We go to Cheltenham. I can take him into John Lewis in Cheltenham. Went to Home Sense in Gloucester. Take him into Home Sense, that's fine. I wanted to go into Sports Direct in Gloucester last week. You cannot take your dog into Sports Direct. I don't know if, I'm not sure if Wedmore, whether you know what Sports Direct is, but if you've ever seen any of the people that shop in Sports Direct, like, 90% of them have never played a sport in their life. And if they let my dog into Sports Direct, he would raise the average IQ by at least 50%. Again, I thought that bit would go down far better. I'm going to keep it in because I like talking about the dog. And I was, before we got a dog, I've always been a dog lover, but I was worried about that. How would I cope with picking up the poo business? Because, again, boys, you won't know this, but back in the 60s when I grew up, we didn't have to worry about that. It was absolutely fine. What used to happen then, everyone just used to open their doors, their dogs would fuck off for the day, roaming wild, shit wherever they wanted, and because of the diet it was on, it just used to turn hard, turn white, and you could kick it and it would just turn to dust, and it was brilliant. But I mean, there were times, I can remember being at Nan's a couple of times, when somebody would come in and there would be that distinct aroma of, that horrible smell, and I can remember watching Nan with the shoe, scraping it off into the sink, and sometimes she'd even remember to empty the dishes, and that would be... But it got me thinking, what must that first dog have thought when it saw its owner pick up its poo for the first time, right? And what I'd like to do for you now is, I'd just like to do a one-man play to reenact that scene, and for the purposes of this play, I will be all of the characters in the play, okay? And I think it would have gone something like this. What are you doing? You what? You're picking my poo up. Why? You have to. What, just this once? All the time? Okay. And what are you using to pick that up with? That little plastic bag. Looks a bit thin, mate. Told you it was thin. And what are you going to do with it now? You're going to carry it. What, like a trophy? Fucking brilliant this is. I can't wait to get home to tell the cat. Can you imagine?